Hi, I'm Heidi Hope. Welcome to the She's Gone Free podcast, a show where I share my story as a creative entrepreneur and mother, my journey to a full heart, my often messy ADHD brain, and the stories, hearts, and minds of other incredible women who have healed, found joy, and stepped into their greatness to live a life on fire with purpose. You have found this podcast because you are ready to walk this path too, and I'm so glad that you're here. Promise me you'll never again settle for anything less than fire, that which lights you up and burns away everything that is no longer meant for you. Fire transforms, and it sets you free. Hey guys, welcome to the podcast. Today I'm talking about a topic that has come up quite a bit in my coaching community and also with myself in the process of creating and creative projects and just, kind of goal setting in the direction that we want our life to go in and how we tackle those things. So one thing that I see happening over and over again is the women in my programs and even my friends and just the women I know in general, we tend to have some idea of how we want our life to be or who we want to be or become. And we use a lot of excuses to put that off into the future somehow. And a lot of those excuses are valid. There are things that are really going on in our lives that make us too busy and, not enough time, not enough money, not enough energy. We have health issues, we have challenges, we have young children, maybe we just had a baby, maybe we are stuck in a career that we don't love. There are lots of circumstances, certainly, that challenge us. But we often use those challenges as excuses for why we aren't living the life that we want to live now. Because the truth is, if we can't learn how to practice living that now, we're never going to get it. It's never in the future. The only time to be who you want to be is in the now moment, right? So we can begin to examine what those excuses are. What are the excuses that I'm using right now to prevent me from living the life I want to live and being who I want to be now? So here's an example. In my coaching program, She's Gone Free, that's a monthly coaching program. You can actually join it anytime. You can cancel it anytime. So if you want to learn more about that, you can go to HeidiHope.com/She's Gone Free. We talk a lot this month, particularly we're talking about creativity and bringing small creative practices into our daily lives as a way to get into flow state, to reach peak performance, to give birth to new ideas, as a form of self-care, as a way to raise our energy levels, because creativity does all of those things. So, and everybody in the group is different. I work with a lot of photographers, but even the photographers I work with have varied interests, a lot of different ideas, and things that they want to pursue outside of their careers. So for one person, that might look like starting a blog or launching a podcast or publishing a book or a children's book, or learning how to play the piano, or gardening this summer, or learning watercolors. We have a paint night and we have a book club and all that stuff too. So everybody's kind of got a different passion project that lights them up. This is the key. What lights you up? What lights you up and makes you happy? What do you feel amazing when you're doing it? What feels amazing when you're done? What raises your energy levels after you're done with it? This is how you know that it's something that should be brought into your life on a regular basis, because it's not just what the outcome of the creative practice is. It's not about the painting. It's not about the song. It's not about the meal that you cook. It's not about the finished, vegetables in the garden. It's really about enjoying that process and bringing the joy of the process into your everyday life. So we can set aside 5 minutes or 10 minutes and say, I don't care. Everybody has 5 or 10 minutes. Every single person on this planet has 5 or 10 minutes. I don't care where you are in life. Time cannot be your excuse to bring more joy into your life. So bringing what brings you joy into your life on a regular basis, making a practice out of it, making a habit out of it, making a ritual out of it, you begin to practice who you want to become. So I want you to think right now about somebody that you admire, somebody who's like out there doing what you want to do with your life. Is it an author? Is it a creative business owner? Is it a stay-at-home mom? Is it a chef? Is it somebody with a blog that you admire? Is it an Instagram influencer? Okay, what are they doing? What are they doing that you admire? Now, what's the only difference between you and them? That they're doing it. You have to do it every day. So if you want to, let's say, sell your paintings online one day, you got to show up and paint every day, even if it's just for 5 or 10 minutes. Because here's the thing about everybody who's creating amazing work. They had to create a lot of horrible work before they started showing amazing work. The podcaster with 30 million downloads, they had to start with a messy podcast that had no listeners, right? Everybody starts somewhere. The artist had to start with a bunch of work that gets thrown away. Half the work I do gets thrown away. And the photographer had to start really messy. And the musician had to start really messy. If you want to be incredible at anything, if you want to share those gifts with the world, you got to start by just practicing. That means showing up and doing it even when you don't know what the outcome's going to be. Even if the outcome goes into the garbage, it's not about the outcome. It's about the process of showing up and being her. So this is my advice for you. If you have a goal for yourself, if you have something that you want to become, something that you want to become better at, something that you want to share with the world, a particular impact that you want to make, be her now. Be her now. If you want to be the marathon runner, what does the marathon runner do? She starts running every day. What does the painter do? She paints every day. What does the writer do? She writes every day. And it's messy and it's imperfect and it's beautiful. And in the process of just showing up and being her every single day, all of the beautiful mystery of creativity will begin to unfold. But it doesn't unfold until you sit down and practice being her. And then one day you wake up and you have become her. You've become her because you've practiced being her for so long. So whatever it is that you want in your life, whatever change you want to make, whatever goal you want to accomplish, how can you start showing up as her today, tomorrow, and the next day for 5 or 10 minutes every day? I promise you, when you start being her now, you will become her so much sooner. You will be her because you are practicing being her, you know? So take that. I want you to take away from this short podcast, this short inspirational little podcast episode. I want you to take action. I want you to look at your schedule for the next week and think of one way that you can practice being her now for 5 to 10 minutes every single day and schedule it in. Make it part of your routine. Make it part of your morning routine or your evening routine or on your lunch break, whatever that is. One thing that's very important when we start to get into actually scheduling this work in for ourselves, you're going to feel fear and resistance. That's normal. So every artist, every creative, every author, every athlete, anything that they do that is their next level, that is what they're being called to do, what they're inspired to do, it always feels uncomfortable. Your next level will always feel uncomfortable. You can't get around that because it puts you into a place of vulnerability, of not knowing everything, of imperfection. You know, you could have mastered a particular thing. Like, let's say you're an amazing soccer player and now you want to be a marathon runner and you're brand new to all of that. So it's going to be imperfect in the beginning. And there are going to be challenges and there's going to be worry and fear surrounding the accomplishment. Even experienced people in all fields still brush up against the resistance and the fear of up-leveling, of learning something new. And so don't let that derail you, because what happens is once we have that little bit of fear of, oh my gosh, what if I'm not good at this? What if everybody hates it? What if, there's this vulnerability with being seen in your gifts, and that arises for everybody. But here's the thing. Because we feel that fear, we start to make excuses. So we start to say like, well, and I'm going to use this for my coaching program. Until the whole house is empty and it's quiet, I can't focus on my writing, or I can't practice the piano, or I can't do my art. I've heard all the excuses. They're all universal. We all use them. Here's one. Oh, I really want to finish writing this book, but I just need like some time when I'm not so busy with work to really focus on it. Or there's this class that I bought that I haven't taken yet because I really just want to focus on it. We tend to do that, especially those of us with ADHD. We tend to think like, I just really need this chunk of time to really focus on it and like get into it. Well, that chunk of time never comes. It's never, ever, ever going to come, because you're always going to fill that time with something else, because the excuse is born out of the resistance to doing what you're meant to step into doing, to up leveling, to shattering your own ceiling, to breaking out of your own box that you put yourself in. So there will always be another excuse to put into whatever excuse you have. Another common one I hear is my kids are so young and it's chaos in my house. And like once they're a little older and they're more self-sufficient, then I'll be able to practice this. Then they get busy with other stuff. Then they're going to be busy with sports. And then suddenly you'll have an empty house and you'll be missing your kids so much and you'll be wishing that they're back. So there's never an external circumstance that is in the way of you accomplishing what you want to accomplish. It is in your head. So if there is a scenario, let's say my kids are really young and there's this big thing I want to do, like I want to publish a book, start with them. Get them involved in some project, painting or drawing or coloring or Play-Doh, or sit them in their high chair with some snacks, whatever it is, and spend 5 to 10 minutes. You don't need a day, a weekend, a month. You don't need a sabbatical. You don't need to quit your job. You don't need to do anything. You can start being who you want to become now. Small little bits, 5 to 10 minutes into each day, and I promise you, you will immediately start to feel unblocked. You will get into flow state. You're going to want to do whatever it is you're doing that gets you into that elevated emotion, into that flow state. You're going to want to do more and more. You're going to crave it more and more. Maybe it's even taking a walk every day or gardening, and figure out a way to make it work in your life now. How can you make that work without changing any of your external circumstances? With just changing your mind and changing the actions that you take out of your thoughts and your beliefs. And when you start changing your actions every day, you see your external circumstances begin to change. Time opens up for you. I talk a lot about this in coaching, about how time begins to open up for you. It does, because time is relative. And when we're doing those things that elevate our emotions, that get us into flow state, the things that we're born to do, we really do have more time. I can come downstairs now and record this podcast in 15 minutes. And it's like, I can have it published today, make a quick audiogram. Why? Because I'm in flow state and I'm having fun and I love to do it. It's a natural extension of what I am inside as a teacher and a coach. So I come down here, I get into flow state, I feel great, and it's not a long drawn out process. It's just me committing to sit my butt in the chair and actually do it and actually record it. That's it. That's all it takes. Do I feel resistance to getting the job done, to sitting down in the chair, to doing it? Of course I do. And you're meant to, if you don't feel any fear or resistance, you're still playing small. You're still playing small in your life. So think about what it is that you most fear to do. What is it that makes you the most nervous from a perspective of a hobby or a creative project or whatever? And commit to doing that. Start being her now. If you enjoyed today's episode, please share it. I know this is a message that a lot of women need to hear, because literally every single woman that I work with needs to hear this message. So Share it with your friends or family or whatever, and tell me in the comments or over on social media. You can tag me at Heidi Hope, whatever. Tell me, what are you going to start practicing today, tomorrow, and the next day, and the day after that? Just for 5 or 10 minutes. What are you going to bring into your life to make you smile more, to bring you more joy, inspiration, fulfillment, drive, motivation, focus? Yep, it does all those things. It's as simple as that. I want to hear about it. If you liked today's episode, subscribe to the channel and share it to inspire somebody else today. You can rate and review the podcast so it reaches more ears. And of course, I always love your comments. Follow me on your favorite social media platform at Heidi Hope, Photographer Rising, and She's Gone Free. Or visit HeidiHope.com to get on my insider list and hear about upcoming coaching and online learning opportunities. Thanks for listening. I'm so grateful for you.